Yo, what's up, guys? It is Nick here with some raw day trading, and today we're going to actually not go over any trading because it feels pretty meaningless right now. We're going to talk about brokers, and I have some toothpaste in my mouth still, so give me a moment. Okay, so Charles Schwab is the broker that I use, and the broker that a lot of people who trade on relatively fast time frames use. And the strategy that most of us have been trading is basically you're grabbing excess liquidity off of bigger moves. You're using the price improvements on very fast time frame, and you're benefiting extremely from free commissions. Um, and what it does is it allows you to kind of like mitigate your risk because you're able to cut and get back in, cut and get back in, cut and get back in ad nauseum. And so what I've noticed personally in the past, this is kind of like an accelerating trend, but in the past, since I started trading, really, there's been a trend of just price action getting more complicated to understand, harder to read, and very against your instincts. And my interpretation of that is they, on their end, they have to make money. And to make money, it means they have to get other traders to participate, getting in and getting out at the worst times. That's how market makers make money. And they have to manage their own risks, etc. So all this adjusting price action to me kind of just resembled the Charles Schwab or Citadel, which is one of their main, but there's also other ones. There's Virtu, and then Charles Schwab also does internal matching. But the changing price action to me, and then the fill changes like you used to be able to reliably get fills at the ask or just below the ask. Now that's not such a thing. Also selling, that you get slippage on the exit. And this isn't even with big size. It's literally just like anything over a 500 share block on whatever price range you're at. And so it's almost like there's this gossamer fake layer of bid ask that are just like swirling around almost in like a meaningless way. It's not quite meaningless because it's like the little fishing lure trying to get you to grab at it, right? And like they're fishing for you. They're fishing for your click, for your buy order, your sell order on the backside. And this price action doesn't resemble real bid ask. It kind of, they artificially compress the bid ask, and then they dangle, this around like this, right? And as it goes over here, you buy, and as it goes over here, you sell, or maybe like up, down, up, you buy, and then down, you sell, and then you get like rotated through this kind of progression of it going up, but like it looking like it's going to go down, and vice versa. And traders who are profitable, which there are a good amount of them, especially on these fast time frames, benefit from sort of understanding this dynamic of the Charles Schwab / Citadel / Virtu / just market makers in general. They understand this, and because there's free commissions, because they can bounce out at a moment's notice without much consequence, and then get back in if they have to, and just like repeat over and over and over again for small wins or small losses. There's the I think what it seemed like is Charles Schwab has been adapting, trying to like fake out traders, and the traders have been adapting. And there was an event Friday where the system just froze. It like locked in all the orders. It wouldn't let people sell. It wouldn't even register. They got filled much lower, which was 6 minutes later, etc. Then because of that, because almost everybody records their screen that's trading seriously, Like they were like, look, guys, like we couldn't even sell our orders. It wasn't showing that you had anything. I personally got money refunded. I heard that people who had like $40,000 losses, $1,000 losses, they all got their money refunded. And the the issue is that they it seems like they, on top of like trying to adapt and never really being able to like really catch these smarter traders who are able to game the system better and who use very big size and kind of just like make the risk sort of unmanageable for the market makers. And then on top of that, because they're just jumping in, jumping out, they're just throwing that risk from the bid to the ask, from the ask to the bid, etc. When that happened, and then the system just like locked up and glitched, and then it glitched for so long as everyone was trying to pile out when the system froze, and then when they had to pay everybody back for that, I think that they were just like kind of wiped their hands. They were just like, we're going risk off. These traders that throw this big size around really fast, and I don't know if this is exactly what happened, but this is my interpretation of it based on everything I've read in the chat room, online, etc. That they're just the market makers just have too hard of a time managing risk with people jumping in and out with these absurd sizes and kind of making money, right? Like that's so it's like whoever was making money at a large scale, a lot of like really profitable traders have been booted from the system. And not all of them are doing the really fast orders. Some of them are benefiting in other ways, but I think size has a lot to do with it. And then the making money part, like they are just the orders, the traders that are able to read the action much better than the majority of the people. And so I think because of that, because they're the ones that also will overwhelm the system if like too many orders go through, and then like they can't service, and then they have to pay a bunch of people back, and then the risk on paying them back is much higher because you can't go to somebody who made money and be like, yo, we're taking that money back. We're gonna like take that money back. Like that would trigger lawsuits as much as losing money would trigger lawsuits. And because of that, you have them being like, we just can't handle this risk anymore. Like this risk is unmanageable for us, and we're gonna take these people off the poker table per se, or kick them out of the casino. Because in essence, this is kind of what it is. This also happens in sports gambling. This also happens like online betting. If you have players that are consistently winning, you get booted. Like especially if they're winning with size, you will get booted from that from that thing from that online like bookie. I'm sorry, there's a stock that just popped up here. I'm not going to trade. I just want to see. I just like seeing stuff. It's 5 minutes before the close right now as I'm recording this. But all that to be said, there's a lot of exodus out of Charles Schwab right now. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where I end up. I'm not sure. I don't think that I trade or make enough money. Honestly, like I don't every time the price action changes, I tend to just size down. And because of that, I've not made any massive progress. But sometimes when the price action is recognizable, I do trade with meaningful size. And so, we'll see. It's probably about like a 60% chance that I get, booted at some point here. But all that being said, I'm not too worried about it. I'm not, this year especially, the price action has been extremely difficult for me. just in terms of like what I'm getting filled at, and then the opportunities and the way I trade versus like how the market's moving. Even though there's lots of like 1,000% movers, like a almost mind-boggling amount. They're at they're at 3 a.m. my time, you know, or at 4 a.m. my time, and it's like I would have to wake up at 3, make sure I'm totally alert and ready. And then I'd be trading in these very low liquidity environments in the pre-market where I'm just like, what is going on? So that's been a sort of disappointing theme of, the recent trading. But that's, I'm still like the other day I made $2,000 or like $1,900, 1,850 or something like that, 1,860. And it's like days like that where I'm like, yay, and then like it goes back to like, making $300, making $700, and I'm just like, the level of like being able to progress in like something like that, and the kind of frustration along with like kind of the, if you have a really shaky foundation that's always shifting, it's hard to build a tall building, and that's kind of what day trading is. There's a lot of people that do it. There's a lot of people that do it really well, and I am going at it from a very haphazard way, I guess, where it seems very intuitive in some respects, but it takes a while to like understand the pattern. It's like by the time I get the pattern of the price action and like what's happening and when it's happening and when to buy and when to sell and how to hold through it and et cetera, and how to size properly for this stock or that stock, it seems like by the time I get it, the price action will shift, and then I have to relearn all that at smaller size again. And there seems to be a real high level of difficulty in getting a structure that like I can depend on reliably over time. And then add on top of all this like possibility getting booted from Charles Schwab, and the fill's just horrible. And Edge is just shifting to other areas. I'm not too worried about everything. You know, I've done this for 5 years. That's kind of like the reason why I'm kind of frustrated with it. Initially, I got into it thinking I can make money like Ross, who's doing fantastic, by the way. He's at I don't know, an average of like 50K a day or something, which is congratulations, dude. That's amazing. But he has got a couple things going for him that he's built up, as in like the audience to like follow him into trades. He's got that skill level. He's got, I mean, I really want to know. I really, really want to know if that guy can make Boku bucks like that in an environment where he's not live streaming. But I wonder, that would be a fun challenge. That would be a very fun challenge. Interesting. Maybe I'll ask him that on his YouTube channel. Because it's just a big question. But that's a whole nother topic. So there's a lot of stuff going on today. I'm small green. Yesterday I was. I hope she doesn't see this, but she probably won't. She doesn't. No, barely anybody watches these videos, and she would be kind of like the last one to watch it. But I had some relationship issues with my ex, who I was kind of still hanging out with, and kind of not at the same time. And then she finally decided to move on, and it stung a lot more than I thought it would. Because there was a time where it was like, I really wasn't really hooking up with anybody, but I was still kind of like playing the field a little bit and flirting with other girls and stuff, and like kind of ignoring her. And she was on vacation. I wasn't texting her, and et cetera, et cetera. But Anyways, that stung a lot. I didn't get much sleep, and it affected me a little bit to where I made some stupid decisions and recognized I was just like in a spirally losing mode, and I just got out after losing $500 on BM&R. But because I got back like 225 or something or 250, and I'd made like 80, um, I got back money from that trade on Friday that they busted, and then um, yeah, I got money back. So like the actual loss was 160, but it was still like I was just trading backside on BMNR yesterday, which was stupid. Like thinking I can understand and anticipate the price action better than the algos that controlled it. But anyways, I'm gonna stop it here. Yeah, like I said, I didn't really trade that aggressively today. I'm up $80 or something, something meaningless. So catch you guys tomorrow. We'll see how long this goes for. Peace out.